Imagine a world where flying was just a dream, where the skies were unreachable, and the idea of human flight was considered impossible. Now, imagine a man who dared to challenge that notion, over 1,000 years before the Wright brothers. This is the story of Abbas Ibn Firnas, the 9th century polymath, who not only dreamed of flight but actually built a flying machine and took to the skies. Born in the Islamic Golden Age, a time of unprecedented scientific and cultural flourishing, Ibn Firnas was a man ahead of his time, a poet, inventor, engineer, and astronomer. But his most daring achievement was his attempt to fly. In this video, we'll uncover the incredible story of Abbas Ibn Firnas, the first person to fly, and explore the science, history, and legacy of this forgotten genius. So buckle up, because this is a journey through time, science, and the boundless human spirit. Abbas Ibn Firnas was born in 810 AD in the city of Ronda, in what is now modern-day Spain. At the time, the Iberian Peninsula was under Muslim rule, and it was a hub of intellectual and cultural activity known as the Islamic Golden Age. This was a period when scholars from different backgrounds, Muslims, Christians, and Jews, came together to translate and expand upon the knowledge of ancient civilizations like Greece, Rome, and Persia. Ibn Firnas was a product of this vibrant intellectual environment. He was not just an inventor, he was a polymath, a man of many talents. He was a poet, a musician, an astronomer, and an engineer. But what truly set him apart was his fascination with flight. Inspired by the story of Icarus and Daedalus from Greek mythology, Ibn Firnas became obsessed with the idea of human flight. He began studying the mechanics of birds, their wings, and how they managed to soar through the air. This led him to design and build a glider, a flying machine made of silk and wood, reinforced with eagle feathers. But his journey to flight was not without challenges. In the next segment, we'll dive into the science behind his flying machine and how he managed to take to the skies. The flying machine that Abbas Ibn Firnas designed was a marvel of engineering for its time. It was a glider, a lightweight contraption made of silk and wood, with wings reinforced by eagle feathers. But how did it work? Ibn Firnas understood the basic principles of aerodynamics, even if he didn't have the modern terminology to describe it. He knew that for a machine to fly, it needed to generate lift, the force that counteracts gravity and allows an object to rise into the air. He studied the wings of birds and realized that their curved shape helped generate lift by creating a difference in air pressure. So, he designed his glider with curved wings, similar to those of a bird. But the challenge wasn't just in the design, it was in the execution. Ibn Firnas had to figure out how to control the glider once it was in the air. He didn't have the luxury of modern materials or engines, so he had to rely on his own strength and balance to steer the machine. In 875 AD, at the age of 65, Ibn Firnas decided to test his invention. He climbed to the top of a hill in Cordoba, strapped himself into the glider, and took a leap of faith. What happened next was nothing short of miraculous. In the next segment, we'll explore the historic flight of Abbas Ibn Firnas and its aftermath. On a clear day in 875 AD, Abbas Ibn Firnas stood at the edge of a hill in Cordoba, ready to make history. He had spent years studying the mechanics of flight, designing and building his glider, and now it was time to put it to the test. With a crowd of onlookers watching, Ibn Firnas strapped himself into the glider, spread his wings, and took a running leap off the hill. For a few moments, he soared through the air, defying gravity and proving that human flight was possible. According to historical accounts, Ibn Firnas managed to stay in the air for about 10 minutes, gliding over the landscape before eventually landing. However, the landing was not without incident. Ibn Firnas had not fully mastered the art of controlling the glider, and he crashed upon landing, injuring his back. Despite the crash, his flight was a monumental achievement. It was the first documented instance of a human being successfully flying through the air. But Ibn Firnas's legacy goes beyond just this one flight. He continued to work on his designs, refining the glider and making improvements. In the next segment, we'll explore the impact of Ibn Firnas's flight on the history of aviation and why his story has been largely forgotten. Despite his groundbreaking achievement, the story of Abbas Ibn Firnas has been largely overshadowed by later pioneers of aviation, like the Wright brothers. But his legacy is undeniable. Ibn Firnas was a true Renaissance man, centuries before the Renaissance even began. His work in astronomy, engineering, and flight laid the groundwork for future inventors and scientists. In fact, some historians believe that his designs may have influenced later European thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci, who famously sketched designs for flying machines in the 15th century. But why has Ibn Firnas' story been forgotten? Part of the reason may be due to the Eurocentric narrative of history, which often overlooks the contributions of non-Western cultures. The Islamic Golden Age was a time of incredible innovation, but much of that knowledge was lost or ignored as Europe rose to dominance in the centuries that followed. However, in recent years, there has been a renewed interest in Ibn Firnas and his contributions to science and aviation. In the next segment, we'll explore how modern historians and scientists are rediscovering the genius of Abbas Ibn Firnas and why his story is more relevant than ever. In the 21st century, there has been a growing interest in the contributions of non-Western cultures to the history of science and technology. Scholars and historians are now revisiting the works of figures like Abbas Ibn Firnas, recognizing their importance and influence. In 2020, the Libyan government even issued a postage stamp in honor of Ibn Firnas, calling him the first human to fly. Similarly, the Ibn Firnas Airport in Baghdad is named after him, as is a crater on the moon. But perhaps the most significant recognition of Ibn Firnas's legacy is in the field of aviation itself. Modern engineers and scientists have studied his designs, marveling at how he managed to achieve flight with such limited resources. His understanding of aerodynamics, though rudimentary, was remarkably advanced for his time. Today, Ibn Firnas is celebrated as a pioneer of aviation, a man who dared to dream of flight centuries before it became a reality. His story serves as a reminder of the boundless potential of human ingenuity and the importance of remembering the contributions of all cultures to our shared history. In the conclusion, we'll reflect on the lessons we can learn from Abbas Ibn Firnas and his incredible journey. The story of Abbas Ibn Firnas is one of courage, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of a dream. At a time when flight was considered impossible, he dared to challenge the limits of human potential. His historic flight in 875 AD was not just a personal achievement. It was a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the spirit of exploration. Yet, for centuries, his story has been largely forgotten, overshadowed by later pioneers of aviation. But as we rediscover the contributions of figures like Ibn Firnas, we are reminded of the importance of recognizing the achievements of all cultures. The history of science and technology is a global story, one that spans centuries and continents. Abbas Ibn Firnas' legacy is a reminder that the sky is not the limit. It's just the beginning. So, the next time you look up at the sky, remember the man who dared to dream of flight over 1,000 years ago. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the life and legacy of Abbas Ibn Firnas. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories from history. And let us know in the comments, who is your favorite forgotten genius from history? Stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, the sky is not the limit. Until next time, subscribe for more epic tales from history.